I'm James Swinney, and here is your morning market brief. We first begin overseas with the major Asian Pacific markets once again trading mixed overnight. We first take a look at Japan's Nikkei 225 index down 0.8%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng index that fell 0.3%. At the same time, the Shanghai Composite that fell 0.2%. The major European markets, for the most part, they are also trading mixed, and U.S. stock futures, they were pointing towards a higher open after both the Dow Jones on the upside right now a little more than 63 points. Now we first begin in Europe. This after the European Central Bank elected to cut its interest rates today for the first time since July 2012, therefore lowering the benchmark refinancing rate 25 basis points to come in at a total of 0.5%. Meanwhile, Euro area manufacturing PMIs, they came out today and revealed that the currency area is still in deep contraction. Spanish PMI that did rise to 44.7 from 44.2. Italian PMI that rose to 45.5 from 44.5, and French PMI that rose to 44.4 from 43.8. Meanwhile, in Germany, the Eurozone's strongest economy, manufacturing PMI in the nation, slipped to 48.1 in April, this from 49 in March. Meanwhile, in corporate news, Facebook reported better than expected revenues of $1.46 billion versus $1.44 billion, but worse than expected earnings per share of 12 cents versus 13 cents per share in its first quarter's earnings filing. Meanwhile, mobile ad revenue for the company at $375 million, that was up a total of 30% of total revenue from 23% in the previous quarter. Meanwhile, Visa, that went on to report adjusted earnings per share of $1.92. That is better than the $1.81 expected by analysts. And the U.S. trade deficit, that narrowed to $38.8 billion in March from $43.6 billion in February. Economists expected a much narrower improvement to $42.3 billion. And lastly, initial jobless claims in the U.S. for the week ended April 27, that was at 324,000, down from 342,000 the week before. And at the same time, continuing claims, that rose to 3.02 million.